This video is brought to you by the Ridge Wallet. Stay tuned to find out more.
Nah, I can't. Nah, I just can't. It's like, come on, bro. This is corny. Ain't this the guy that said sorry to Tory Lanez or something? He looks so familiar. Yeah, it is. He's crying over a girl that left him for another dude. Hey, you're an artist, bro. I think he should have saved this passion for something else and not that girl and the song. That was just weird. I'm not into the song.
Sometimes, often through no fault of our own, something about us just doesn't gel with another person. And when this friction between people arises in the workplace, it can lead to inhospitable work environments, and more often than not, someone will have to move on. However, things get a little more complicated when your job is predicated on being in the public eye, as once you rub people the wrong way, it's incredibly hard to undo it. In hip-hop, this is the category that well-intentioned but corny rappers find themselves in. Whether they're seen as obnoxious, fraudulent, overly preachy, or simply goofy, there's no shortage of MCs who are shunned from hip-hop. Since the mid-2000s and largely aided by the internet, this phenomenon has picked up major steam. And one of the biggest examples to have sprung up in this era is Hopsin, a man whose career has been beset by gimmicks and preachiness. As in the case with most well-intentioned, corny rappers, Hopsin has, for all intents and purposes, an aspirational story, and in spite of hip-hop's general dislike for him, the former leader of Funk Volume has created a lucrative career.
So I always pictured myself being wealthy and, being able to travel the world. I didn't know how. When I was around 14 years old, I just realized that it was more than likely going to be music that took me to that level. Yeah, since I was a younger kid, I kind of had an idea that this was all going to be my life because I just couldn't see myself working at McDonald's.
At what age did you become a millionaire?
27, 28.
But where this drive has made him into a self-made man, everything from his horror-inspired visuals to the way he expresses his idolization of Eminem has made it difficult for him to connect with audiences at large. But as his reaction to shady name-dropping him on Kamikaze showed, Hopsin, corny or not, is just a kid from Panorama City that's living out his dreams.
Eminem just said my name on his goddamn song on his new album. I didn't even know he knew who the I was. Goddamn! He said don't tell him about the culture, implying that I'm part of the culture. I gotta call my mom.
In many ways a disciple of Hopsin, Dax has faced a similar degree of animosity from hip-hop. Often typecast as a YouTube rapper, Dax's past as a spoken word poet means that he prioritizes lyrics within an era in which the average listener doesn't really care. And although his come-up story is admirable, spending years as a night janitor but never giving up on his dreams, Dax's position in hip-hop was never made clearer than when he dissed Tory Lanez.
Commit. Apologize, bro. Apologize, bro. Or you know what's going on. Apologize, my. Apologize. I got you, bro. Apologize. Say sorry. Say sorry. All right, bet. I got you.
In every aspect of today's society, things evolve. So why should the way you carry your cash, cards, and other essentials around be any different? Thankfully, the Ridge is here to revolutionize the wallet and make those bulky, leather-bound products into a thing of the past. Sleek, minimal, and purposefully built to fit in your pocket, the Ridge have created the future of wallets, and before long, they'll have set the standard. Available in over 30 styles including burnt titanium, aluminum, and carbon fiber, the wallet is almost unanimously beloved by those who bought one, with many customers saying that they never return to anything else. And courtesy of the lifetime guarantee that comes with each Ridge product, they'll never have to. Capable of holding up to 12 cards along with your cash, Ridge wallets aren't just aesthetically pleasing, but secure too. Fitted with RFID blockers, the team have ensured that what's yours will stay out of reach of any digital fraudsters that may be eyeing the contents of your pocket. And armed with over 40,000 5-star reviews, the Ridge is so confident that you'll be thrilled with your choice that they'll offer you a 45-day money-back guarantee. So to help our viewers make the switch, Ridge are kindly offering 15% off all styles and designs. All you need to do is head over to ridge.com and enter the code HipHopMadness. We promise you that you'll never look back. With that said, let's get back to the video.
Now I'm running, dudes run after me. I'm on the floor and I'm like, yo, dog, over a diss track? I'm not a fighter. I defended myself inside the club and got out, but I'm not here to I'm not gonna fight as this many dudes. He was just like, come here, Dax. Well, this not gonna be over. And then I walked to the car and that's when you see me on the car tired. This is what's going through my head. I've always told myself I'm never gonna let social media make me make dumb decisions. The world wants me to be a big dude and be like, nah, f you. But I'll be like, you know what? I gotta go home to my family. And I'm like, all right, bro, my bad. And I encourage anybody in that situation to do the same thing. I'm gonna teach my son the same thing. Social media is convincing too many people to act tough when they don't need to. And the same people that are telling you to act tough are the same people who will be saying RIP.
Held to a different, more demeaning standard by Tory, another clear-cut example of hip-hop's dismissal of Dax comes from EXO's Nav. During an episode of Geniuses, The Cosign, the rapper-producer watched numerous videos of rising Canadian talents without a crossword until Dax's "She Cheated Again" came on screen, at which point he immediately felt the need to tear him apart.
Nah, I can't. Nah, I just can't. It's like, come on, bro. This is corny. Ain't this the guy that said sorry to Tory Lanez or something? He looks familiar. Yeah, it is. He's crying over a girl that left him for another dude. You're an artist, bro.
Having acknowledged the view of himself as corny on tracks such as The New Rap God Part 2, Dax hasn't let it discourage him, and he continues to average over 1 million views per track. However, there is a lingering feeling that if he had it his way, he would be collaborating with some of his heroes rather than performing freestyles over their most iconic beats on YouTube. That said, getting the seal of approval from hip-hop as a whole isn't necessarily enough to be able to escape the ranks of the well-intentioned, corny rapper. No stranger to a cosign from legends in the game, Corday is the very definition of a well-intentioned rapper in hip-hop. Already dedicating his wealth to the betterment of the world around him, Corday has invested in college scholarships for underprivileged youth and even set up his own label, High Level, which promises to provide an opportunity to new artists. However, as the 20,000 sales of his star-studded sophomore album From a Bird's Eye View has proven, audiences see a lack of authenticity or personal connection in him that they just can't get past.
I like Corday. I actually think this album is a pretty decent album. I hope more people listen to it. I think he's gonna be a problem and a factor in the game for years to come. This is what these sales tell me, and I said this to his manager before. Corday is the epitome of having all the skills necessary, having all the cosigns necessary, but not having the story that the people buy into. That's the only problem with Corday. He could rap real well, this and third, but people have not bought into the story of him.
By the same token, online critic Sean C felt that when it comes to Corday, he's simply getting by and providing little else.
And generally, when I see people give such a strong lack of effort compared to their own work or what they've done for other artists that they clearly respect, I look at that as indicative of how they view the artist whose album they're featuring on. So when I look at this throwaway Freddie Gibbs verse, I'm like, oh, well, that's what he might think of Corday. I'm not saying that he has a problem with Corday. I'm just saying clearly he doesn't think that this is a record that he needs to really show his on. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate this album. I'm just tired of rap like this getting a pass because it's so passable.
Having taken Corday on tour with him during the latter stages of his career, one man that almost serves as a benchmark for well-intentioned corny rappers is Logic. Although he's been immensely successful in a commercial sense, Logic has found himself subject to endless scrutiny and mockery from hip-hop for much of his career. Trolled for every personal revelation that he'd ever dared to put on wax, Logic has been open about the fact that when it came time to hang it up in 2020, the internet played a major role in his decision-making.
I mean, it happens all the time. It's like I go and I'll be like, I love you guys, and somebody's like, how can you just say this and nothing happens to you? Like, that's crazy to me, dog. And they'll on me, and it's gonna happen. They're gonna call my baby ugly, and they've already on my wife and made accounts and called her ugly. This is why I'm leaving.
Throughout his career, Logic has evoked strong emotions from people without actively trying to. From getting put on blast by Joe Budden as one of the worst MCs to ever grab a mic, to getting lit up by Charlamagne at every opportunity, Bobby Tarantino has found himself in a position where, when he was an active rapper at least, the status quo and gatekeepers of the game would minimize anything good that he brought to the world, and instead focusing on petty issues because they saw him as an easy target.
And I respect Charlamagne. When he basically kind of called me homophobic without even watching an interview, and I was like, I didn't even say that, and then for him to just out his mouth be like, yo, who your sister, like, that f***ed me up. And I actually held on to that for like 6 years, man. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this isn't healthy, and I'm talking to my therapist about it. Some of the be saying is wild, like asking me what I'm doing for the Black Lives Matter movement as a black man who looks white.
Where other rappers have raged against their ill treatment, it feels as though, in Logic's case, it's as if his good intentions have either been taken advantage of or actively held against him. But where Logic's commercial success never interfered with the paths of icons in the game, one well-intentioned corny rapper that found himself on the wrong side of this tightrope is Macklemore. Although a Caucasian, Seattle-based rapper seems like an unlikely megastar in hip-hop, there was a brief moment where Macklemore, along with producer Ryan Lewis, were residing at the top of the game. Courtesy of a borderline novelty hit, Thrift Shop, he soon commanded a global audience. And by the time he doubled down with the anthemic Can't Hold Us and LGBTQ+ equality rallying cry Same Love, he seemed unstoppable. A friend of the likes of Schoolboy Q of TDE, Macklemore seemed like a good fit for mainstream hip-hop. However, a fateful trip to the 2014 Grammys would forever change the course of his career. After he and Ryan Lewis's The Heist scooped up Rap Album of the Year over Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City, he felt the need to text K-Dot and let him know that he got robbed. Within a culture as competitive as hip-hop, his gesture was misinterpreted as tokenistic. And after he shared his text to K-Dot with the world, he left K-Dot feeling as though the apology wasn't genuine.
Yeah, I think it was uncalled for, to be 100 with you. When he sent it to me, I was like, okay. You know, I could see him feeling that type of way because he a good dude. But I think for confirmation from the world, you know, he probably felt like he had to put it out there, which he didn't need to do.
From there on, the audience's tolerance of Macklemore, no matter what his motivations were, has never been the same. Clowned for everything from his white privilege tracks to his Trump's Over freestyle, it seems that the more Macklemore tries to move past the Kendrick incident, the more the world pushes against him. And as a result, every action that he's performed since has been seen as some attempt at reconciliation with hip-hop. But while his fans are still there for him, it's no surprise that his handling of the Grammy situation still lingers in his mind to this day.
And I'm struggling with my own, like, damn, I'm benefiting from the system that I've been calling out since I was 20 years old. People want to say like, oh, it was guilt. He just feels guilty about being white. It's like, that's so surface level. Was there an air of that? Absolutely. Was that the reason? Absolutely not.
Left without the support of a culture as a whole, what each of these rappers share is that the more earnest their attempts are at expression across both rhymes and interviews are, the less receptive fans and their fellow artists become to what they have to offer. But for all of them, the solution is clear. If they stopped pursuing the love from hip-hop as a whole, not only would they come across as less corny, but they would also be more likely to receive it.